Sometimes, I feel like I'm working hard, but not building anything that lasts. That's the thought that presses hardest on me late at night, when the office has fallen quiet and I'm still here, staring at a folder that should hold the future of my business, but instead sits half empty, as if mocking me. The fluorescent light hums above, casting a pale wash over the desk. I lean back in my chair, and it creaks softly, that small sound carrying further than it should in the silence. The day's calls and meetings are done, but instead of relief, I feel emptiness. There's a sense that I'm just turning the same wheel again and again without moving forward. Deals close, bills get paid, the cycle continues. But when I look at that thin folder labeled business plan, I can't shake the fear that all of this effort is only carrying me as far as tomorrow. I've built something, yes, but will it last? Will it stand after me? Or is it just a grind that ends the day I stop turning up? It's strange how even the smallest details become symbols in these moments. The folder edges fray because I pull it out and shove it back too often. The first page is half written, a few bullet points scratched in. Every time I try to add more, I freeze. The words feel too heavy, as though writing them makes me responsible for something I might fail to live up to. The truth is, I get caught in the rush of the immediate. Every client email, every deadline, every phone call, they scream for attention. Long-term planning whispers in the background, quiet, easy to ignore. And so I bury myself in the noise of the day-to-day because it feels productive. But deep down, I know I'm avoiding the silence where bigger questions live. My chest tightens when I ask myself, am I just running a business or am I building a future? That's the cliff I stand on tonight, in the silence of this office, with only the soft creak of my chair and the mocking blankness of that folder keeping me company. Sometimes I forget the little wins are what built this business. That's the truth, and it stings to admit. I get so focused on the weight of the next challenge that I dismiss what I've already carried through. I tell myself the small contracts don't matter, the short meetings aren't important, the minor deals are just filler. But the reality is, those small steps are the very bricks that built these walls around me. Without them, there wouldn't even be a business to question. So why do I keep minimizing them? Part of it is comparison. When I see the bigger firms, with their glossy brochures, giant teams, and billion-dollar portfolios, it's hard not to shrink my own achievements down to almost nothing. I look at their skyscrapers and wonder if my little two-story office even counts. I tell myself my wins don't measure up, as if only massive milestones deserve recognition. Part of it is cultural. I grew up with the belief that humility was safety. Don't brag. Don't celebrate too loudly. Keep your head down and work harder. The danger of pride was always lurking. The idea that if you enjoy the moment too much, the fall will come faster. So, I learned to swallow my own joy and treat every step forward as not enough. And part of it is pressure. The pressure of being a provider, of carrying the weight of responsibility. When I'm measuring my life against financial obligations, against the needs of family, against the future I want to secure, small wins feel like drops in a bucket that will never fill. I think, what good is this? It won't cover school fees. It won't pay off a house. It won't change the future. But that thinking digs me deeper into fatigue. Because when every step feels like not enough, I never let myself feel the momentum that actually keeps me moving. It's like building a wall, but refusing to acknowledge the bricks, staring instead at the empty sky above and saying, "It's not a roof yet." There's a wisdom I keep coming back to, though, one I often resist. Small bricks build big houses. I know it's true, yet my heart struggles to believe it when I'm staring at the empty pages of my long-term plan. The unopened thank you note on my desk is another quiet reminder. A client took the time to write me a few words, to say their life was better because of the work we did together. That note taps against the desk like a whisper, proof that what I do has meaning, even in the smallest deals. And yet, I leave it unopened, as though protecting myself from admitting that this small thing matters. My doubts swirl with questions I rarely voice. Do I dismiss my wins unless they're monumental? Do I only count progress if it's dramatic, loud, undeniable? Am I so caught up in the daily grind that I forget tomorrow needs me too? The tension builds when I realize how much of my worth I've tied to grand results. I tell myself nothing counts unless it's transformative, forgetting that transformation itself is made of countless tiny shifts. And beneath it all, the universal theme emerges. I've been minimizing success, starving myself of the fuel that small wins could give me, all because I keep looking too far ahead without grounding myself in what's already here. That unopened thank you card isn't just paper. It's a mirror I've been avoiding. It happened in a moment I wasn't prepared for. I was at home, sitting on the couch with my daughter. She had been working on a school project about the future, and she turned to me with wide, curious eyes and asked, "Dad, will your business still be here when I'm grown up?" The question stopped me cold. I didn't know what to say. The words got stuck in my throat, because deep down, I wasn't sure of the answer. I forced a smile and said something vague like, "I hope so." But inside, my chest sank with a weight I couldn't shake. Her innocent question had pierced the very doubt I try to outrun. Maybe I've been building something temporary. Maybe this is all just survival, a grind that ends with me. When she ran off to finish her project, I sat there, staring at the blank page of my succession plan, a page I'd shoved into the back of that half-empty business folder. I had always avoided it, telling myself, "I'll fill this in later. I just need more time, more clarity, more money." But the truth is, I was afraid. Afraid of admitting I hadn't thought far enough ahead. Afraid of seeing, in ink, that I had no real plan for tomorrow. Afraid that maybe she was right. Maybe there won't be a business left when she's grown. The silence of that moment was deafening. The clock ticked in the background, each second a reminder of time slipping away. My shoulders slumped. The folder slid shut with a dull thud, the sound echoing in my chest like defeat. The thought loop began spiraling. Maybe I won't leave them anything. Maybe all these late nights and sacrifices are just temporary scaffolding that will collapse once I'm gone. Maybe I'm not building a legacy, just chasing a paycheck. I leaned back in my chair, eyes tracing the ceiling. I felt powerless, almost paralyzed. For the first time, I wasn't just doubting the week ahead or the month's cash flow. I was doubting the very existence of a future. And in that low point, the dream of building something that could outlast me felt almost laughable. That was the emotional collapse, believing my work would die with me, that all I'd built was too fragile to stand beyond my own hands. But then, something shifted. The folder slid shut, but my daughter's question stayed open inside me. Will this still be here when I'm grown up? The question that first felt like a wound slowly began to feel like a seed. It planted itself in me, and over the next days, it kept growing. One night, instead of burying myself in small tasks, I pulled that folder back onto my desk. The creak of my chair echoed again as I sat down, this time with less dread. The page labeled 5-year vision stared back at me. My hand hovered over the pen, and I thought, I can either keep leaving this blank, or I can write one line. Just one. So, I wrote it. In 5 years, this business provides stability for my family and opportunities for my community. It wasn't polished. It wasn't detailed. But it was real. And once the first line was written, the page didn't feel as heavy. The silence of the room didn't feel as threatening. My chest didn't feel as tight. I realized something powerful in that moment. Legacy doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with planting one seed. A vision doesn't have to be fully formed on day one. It grows step by step, draft by draft, choice by choice. I looked over at the thank you notes I had stacked on the edge of my desk. Suddenly, they weren't just scraps of paper. They were evidence, proof that I had already planted seeds in people's lives. Every client I had helped, every small win I had dismissed, was already part of the forest I was growing. The insight landed deep. Seeds planted now will outlive me. It shifts everything. It changed my perspective. My wins weren't just about closing today's deals or surviving the month. They were about creating something that could ripple outward long after me. I whispered the words to myself, then said them louder, firmer, until they steadied me. Plant, grow, legacy. Plant, grow, legacy. That mantra didn't erase the fear, but it anchored me in the truth that resilience isn't just surviving today, it's building for tomorrow. The shift was clear. I'm planting for tomorrow, not just surviving today. I could feel it in my posture. My shoulders lifted, my breath steadied. For the first time in weeks, maybe months, I felt like I was carrying possibility instead of panic. That night, I didn't just close the folder and shove it aside. I left it open on my desk, with that first goal written boldly on the page. When I switched off the office light, the folder wasn't mocking me anymore. It was calling me forward. And for the first time, I believed I was capable of answering that call. When my mind races toward doubt, I've learned the only way to anchor myself is through practice. Not more thinking, not more spiraling, but action that grounds me. So here's what I've begun doing, and what I want to invite you into with me tonight. I keep a vision journal. Nothing fancy, just a notebook that stays on my desk. Inside it, I write down 2 things whenever the future feels uncertain. 1 5-year goal. Something I want to see standing strong in the years ahead. 1 small step I can take this week to move toward it. That's it. Just 1 goal and 1 step. The first time I did this, I wrote, in 5 years, my business provides stability for my family and creates jobs for others. And then, under it, I scribbled, this week, draft a system for training new staff. It was small, imperfect, and honestly felt almost silly at the time. But the act of writing it down shifted my energy. The pen pressing into the page reminded me that the future isn't just an idea. It's something I can build, one line at a time. Your practice tonight: grab a pen and paper. Write one 5-year vision, even if it's rough, even if it feels too small to matter. Then, write one step you can take this week. It might be as simple as sending an email, making a call, or setting aside an hour to plan. Don't wait for the big blueprint. Start with one seed. My seeds matter. Because they do. Every action you take is proof of momentum. Every line you write is proof of possibility. And when the panic of the daily grind whispers that you're not building anything lasting, you'll have these words written down, a record of the seeds you've planted. That notebook has become my anchor. Every time I doubt myself, I flip back and see the pages filling up. Page by page, it reassures me. Your future is already growing. So tonight, here's the truth I'm carrying with me. Legacy isn't an accident. It's a practice. I used to think building a long-term vision was about grand plans, complex charts, or perfect strategies. But I see now, it's about showing up for the small, consistent steps, writing down the seeds, trusting they'll take root. Every win I've dismissed, every thank you note I've set aside, every client whose life was changed in ways I thought were too small, those are the bricks, the roots, the seeds. My foundation is already stronger than I realized, and yours is too. So if you've ever caught yourself thinking, this doesn't last, I'm not building anything that will outlive me, let me remind you, you already are. Each step is proof. Each seed matters. My encouragement to you tonight is simple. Your legacy starts with today's smallest step. Carry this mantra into the week. Every seed matters. Picture it. A folder no longer empty. A page no longer blank. A future no longer left to chance. Because we're not just working for today. We're planting for tomorrow. And before I close, let me leave you with this. I'm not just working for today. I'm building for tomorrow. That's the truth I'm carrying forward. And it's the truth I hope you'll carry too. Share one seed you've planted for your future. It might be tiny, it might feel invisible, but it matters. You might be surprised how much strength others find in your seed, just as you'll find strength in theirs. Let's breathe into this truth. Momentum isn't milestones, it's steps. And step by step, seed by seed, we are building something that lasts.